Hello, and welcome back to Brick World, everyone. New week, new episode, and we return here to our building and also to the roundabout. We will continue building the road here, we will install the bike path, we will also massively continue building on the right side of this building, closing the gap here. A lot is going to happen. Very many bricks will flow into this update today, so definitely stay tuned because something is happening. Fortunately, the bricks we need to finally implement the bike path have finally arrived. Last time I initially completed the strip here entirely with road, so to speak, without markings. But we want to have it like it is back there. You can already see it on the other side. From the roundabout, we are continuing this on this side, of course on both sides. And then you can already see here on the right, the strip is as good as finished. I also added a new cyclist here right away. And on the other side, you can see that I have already started there. In the middle, this restricted area, I have extended further forward. I have also, as you can see, built a little further. And as you can see, they now fit exactly opposite at the right spot. Here, all is absent, but all is ready. And what you can also see is that the entire foundation here is prepared just as the mentioned restricted area is extended forward. We are continuing to build, we are also extending the sidewalk, and you can now see very nicely how the whole thing is gradually rising here. With this, we will eventually, when the whole thing is expanded at some distant point in the future, reach the height we will need at some point to cross over the tracks. But that is a completely different topic. This is how the street looks now after today's work is completed. Both lanes. For the bicycles are finished, sidewalks are finished, markings are finished, everything is finished. This module, which spans two 32 base plates and is purely a road module, is finished. 4. New minifigures. Bringing us to 1207 minifigures here in the city. By now it's a really crazy number in my eyes, and yes, it's just a bit more added. You see here, everything fits together quite well now. All the markings, the entire section is finished here. We now have the street completely finished from one side of the table to the other. To be precise, that's 2 meters and 4 centimeters from here to there, and that's now completely finished for the time being, so another gap has been closed, which is personally becoming important to me. And probably to you as well. But today we also want to continue building on this building here, since the topic is closing gaps, so definitely stay tuned. To be able to close the gap here at all, a piece of base plate is first inserted here. It's a bit difficult because everything is quite tight and it also protrudes a little on the left. It is a cut large base plate, another piece I had left over from other things. But of course it fits perfectly. Now in here, to close this gap. And here you can already see how I started. What occurred to me is, we want to have above the pineapple store, our Brickworld pineapple store, we want to have apartments. But we also need access to them. That's why I decided to extend the entire building here to the right by 32 studs and start building a staircase here. Because all the residents of this house need to get upstairs somehow. That means here comes a staircase on the right. Next to it, a storage area for the store will be created. And I have now tried to adjust the entire building, in terms of color, in these two lower floors, to match what our pineapple store already represents. So shades of grey, shades of black. In my opinion, it also fits quite well as a contrast to the Oscorp Tower behind it. And you can also see the street is ascending. I was able to solve that quite well with these steps here so that the building fits in quite well here. We placed a few steps in front to reach a slightly higher level. And then we can start building our staircase here very well. The staircase is also a funny story because I'm going all out with the construction here, even though no one will see it later. And as you can see here, the stairs go around the corners a bit. Of course, we have a bit of decoration inside, we have mailboxes inside. Everything you might want in a staircase, and this here is angled a bit here. This is supposed to be the underside of these steps. Of course, you build a bit differently, which I actually find quite nice. It's not completely the right angle, but in my opinion, it still fits quite well to conceal a bit down here that the steps go up. It's a small detail, and later I believe you won't be able to see it very well even from the windows outside. But it's a small thing that I found quite nice to implement. This is how it looks from the outside now. You can also see that I installed lighting, cold white light. This is the entrance area which, as mentioned, is still a bit adapted to the design of the pineapple store. I also added this black bar above it. Up here I installed a lantern, a small light, We also have a light in the stairwell so that you can see a little bit from outside what you can see. And you can see I've already started building the next module on top here. This can be removed, of course. And this is how it currently looks in the stairwell. I actually quite like the design, and I think it fits well with what it's supposed to represent in the end. We'll open the door later. A minifigure will come out of there. That's why there's a stud on the stairs. Otherwise, we'll start by building a bit further up to see how we can extend the facade further upwards, because I also want to have this darker look here on the second floor. And then when the floor above comes, not today, when it comes to the actual apartments, we will definitely use different color designs there. I have now decided to add or continue the design and also the position of the windows from the lower floor here. Here is another new minifigure, bringing us to 208 minifigures here in the city. And this is how it currently looks when you look at the building. And I think it provides a pretty good contrast to the surrounding buildings, especially with the advertising platform. And as I said, we will use a different color on top later, which I believe will make it quite a bit more interesting. This is how it looks from the inside. They aren't necessarily the most exciting new features, but it's just a nice little staircase, I think. It fits in quite well here. I've built everything up to the point where we can say we can add the next floor on top. Are these also the modified plates and all the tiles? And so it can continue. Furthermore, I also decided to build a bit around the corner here and to think about how the whole thing will continue at the edge. And here in the corner, where we then directly connect to the East Basket building, I thought that this little piece here with these two windows should still remain open. Now I have installed 2 more windows here. We have a very simple concrete style back here, because as mentioned, it's a backyard. This is all blue now, because at some point when the next table comes in queue, another building will extend to this edge. And the 2 windows at the back corner will then stand free. This also provides the opportunity to look a bit inside from the back, into this room, which as mentioned will become a storage area. That means on the right, we have this area of the actual store. A wall goes here behind the storage area. So here, the wall will come in with 2 or 3 doors. Let's see. Then we have the storage area here. And at the front will be the actual store area, which spans 2 floors. Above, where the storage is, we might build in 1 or 2 offices or something like that. But I think with that, we have a pretty good plan for the entire building here on the lower 2 floors. And as mentioned, above that, there will be apartments. That will also be an interesting story. But I think we'll add 2 more floors on top. And then we'll have a good height for this building. And then we can also see how exactly we proceed with the Oscorp Tower. Because from the point where this building naturally ends, we will need windows on the side of the Oscorp Tower. And yes, that's basically it. The result of today. I hope you enjoyed it. Today, once again, we used a lot of bricks, implemented many ideas, and made many adjustments. And until next time, goodbye.